What it do, y'all? Hey, this is a matter of fact. I'm not in the office again, but I just got to bring y'all this content, man. Like I said, I would. But this an update to the lady that left the 3 kids in the house, man. And I think his name is Sheriff Bouchard, something like that. Whatever the sheriff name is, Sheriff Bouchard. If I'm saying your name wrong, my bad. But I want to thank you, man, from me, straight up. Like the help you giving them kids, man, is you know what I mean. It's heartwarming, man. You know what I mean, and that's some real. You feel me? That's coming from truth, man. Real talk, man.
Arrived at in 2022, but the mother still would not allow him to see the kids. So that's what we've learned so far, at least preliminarily. We're going to go back and double check all these timelines and that kind of information. So he, in essence, had lost contact with the kids. And that's where that stood. So we've had questions about that. The other questions that we've had was who were the other people potentially dropping food at the house other than the mother? So far, again, the investigation is pretty layered and complex given that it's going over years. But it appears that those are companies like an Instacart or a DoorDash, things like that. So so far, none of the people that were coming to the house had any awareness that there were kids inside or the situation in which they were delivering to. Obviously, the question was somebody dropping food off knowing there's kids there? No information at this point leads us to believe that. The kids were forensically interviewed with our partners at Care House. They've already been seen once at McLaren. We intend to have them at a much more detailed both physical and mental health kind of checkup, if you will, that will happen hopefully this week. When our detectives saw them at their interview at Care House, they were already making amazing progress, having had some tender love, having had some supportive care, having been put in new clothing and some basic hygiene. The one detective said that the little girl was talking quite a bit. So that's super exciting to see that happening. And as it relates to being in the house, the only one of the 3 that ever came out was the young boy, and he came out twice. Once because he wanted to feel the grass, which by itself is heartbreaking, and a second time to check the mail. So
heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking, man. Any person with a heart, man, can feel this. That's sad, dog. The little dude just wanted to touch the grass. Wow.
You wouldn't do this to an animal, let alone your child.
Didn't I say that in the prior video? Go look at the old video. Didn't I say that? That's the title was on there. I know dogs live better than that, man.
So, just to hear that he came out to touch the grass is just crushing, soul crushing on so many levels. As it relates to the house, we have obviously released pictures. I'll get my technical expert up. You've already seen some of these pictures. I rolled that little mouse, but it didn't want to cooperate. So inside of the home, as I had mentioned with these pictures, trash was piled, in some places 3 and 4 foot high. Everything was covered with feces and trash. The toilet had become non-functional, and the bathtub was filled with feces. That's the kind of situation these poor kids had been living in for years, not just hours or days, for years. And so when you have the complete lack of hygiene, a complete breakdown of basic living conditions that they were subjected to. And to get a little deeper into that, detectives have narrowed down the initial abandonment they believe to be somewhere in the spring to summer of 2020. Obviously, COVID played a little part in the disconnect potentially with schools and school communications.
2020, man. She abandoned them in 2020, dog. Sick individual, dog. Straight up, just like that.
In 2020, the mother dropped off some trash bags, gloves, and Febreze, and that was about the last thing related to hygiene. 2020, in the height of COVID, okay? Towards the end, the children apparently were getting a loaf of bread dropped off that was intended to last 3 to 4 days. So, I mean, obviously on so many levels, the conditions are horrendous and the situation terrible.
A loaf of bread? Man, this is worse than I thought, man. I don't even want to keep hearing this, man. Like, wow, like, you don't... Bro, animals get treated better, dog. Crazy.
So what we're trying to do in the meantime, and as it relates specifically to the case, the preliminary report has been turned over to the prosecutor. We're adding some more stuff for them. They're in the process of determination. When I heard about this, I called her on the weekend and let it know it was coming, and she has her staff queued up, and they're in that process. As it relates to the kids, the first thing we wanted to do is obviously get them safe and to get them clean and get them enclosed. And I will say we have one of the most generous communities, I think, in the world.
Shout out to you.
We put on there that we needed clothing, and this is just a tiny sample of what we've received. At the office of another office of ours, we have bags and bags. So we don't need any more clothing. We greatly appreciate it. The family and the kids greatly appreciate it. And so we're kind of pivoting now to financial support. And we have put up a link, if you will, to the charity Mission Oakland. And 100% of it will go to the kids. Unlike some of the traditional fundraising methodologies you see out there, they take a percentage. 100% of this will go to the kids. What I am asking is, again, our generous viewers and listeners out there and readers, we're looking for a law firm that would set up a trust fund so that we can take 100% of what we receive in donations for these kids and put it in a trust that can be administered, that can take care of maybe their medical bills, mental health visits, and if there's any overage, maybe set some money aside for their future education.
Man, hey, hold on, man. Shout out to this dude right here, man. For real, man. From Troop. I don't know who else, goddamn it, didn't thank this man, but hey, I'm thanking this man. Because people don't lend a hand like this no more. And an officer going out his way to do this? Come on, man. Shit don't happen like this, man. For real. When we got heroes like this one, we gotta let them know, hey, they special, man. Cause nigga, them kids would be going through hell if this man wouldn't have stepped up the way they stepped up. But I'm glad they got some help and all that. For real. But it's crazy out here, man. Hey, subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments. Y'all know what it is with me. It's 1942. And I'm out.